Hey, Reenie from Ocean's Edge Salon and Spa here with your clipper cutting tutorial. To assist me, my magical mate, Papa Duck.
Hi.
Let's give a big round of applause to Papa Duck. Papa Duck is the original hippie, and he really doesn't like clipper cuts, but for our purposes, he is allowing it because I tortured him into it.
Yeah, she did. All right. Put on the necklace of shame.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, good. Can I have the cape of despair also?
Yes, you may, Duck. For my next trick, I need a volunteer from the audience. You'll do just fine. All right, so now Tom, aka Duck, is not a clipper cut kind of guy, okay? So I'm going to use longer clippers on him for demonstration purposes. I'm going to start out with a 5. For people who are used to having a really short clipper cut, you may be as low as a 2, a 1, but I would always recommend starting out with a bigger blade, a bigger guard, than a smaller one, because you can always go back and make it shorter, but you know for a fact you can't cut hair longer. Okay, are you with me? So I will always start in the back, in the center. That way, if you go too short, you can blend it. So I'm starting out with a 5. This is going to leave the hair longer than a 1/2 inch. A 4 is going to leave it at about a 1/2 inch. Well, it is a 1/2 inch, not about. These are mathematical measurements, for the love of Saint Merciful. They're not about anything. So I feel like that is going to be that's going to be way too short for him. He's going to freak out. So I'm going to bump it up to a
21.
A 7. Jackpot. All right, so I'm going to bump it up to a 7 just because I don't want to, I'm sequestered with this character. You know what I mean? He's going to start raving mad if I give him a bald fade. Which, P.S., bald fades are the wickedest cut to do. So don't even pretend that you can do it, because you can't. Listen, one day, we're getting ready to pack up the entire salon to go do a giant wedding party on location. And this guy walks in, and Mandy tells him, oh yeah, Maureen's an expert at the bald fade and hard part. So meanwhile, my clippers were broken, and I had to do a bald fade with a hard part with my peanuts. Okay? It took me like 45 minutes, and I was going crazy. Plus, the guy was in the military, and he was in a wedding that day. I was like, oh my God. Set up like a bowling pin, people. All right, so as you're going up the back, you can use your comb to give it a nice little blend. You can comb the hair down and bring the clippers up into the comb. You're also going to be applying the clippers to the head in a C. If you can imagine like an exaggerated C. So as you go into the head and as you come up into the new hair that you're cutting, you're going to drag that clipper away from the head. That's going to help give you a good blend. The other way you can get a good blend is by staggering your blade. So if you started out with a 4 and you work to a 5 and then you go to a 6, that's going to help give you a little bit of a blend as well. Now if you're cutting stick straight hair, you're going to see more cuts. If you're cutting wavy hair, you're going to see hair that's not going in the direction that you're trying to get it to go in. But that's the way the clipper cut crumbles, my friends. So just keep working your way up in the back. When you get to the sides, you want to do the same kind of thing.
No, just leave the sides alone.
Well, that would be like a reverse mullet.
Yeah.
Short in the back and long in the front.
It would be fast, too.
All right. Listen, what do we have? We got nothing but time, Doc. Nothing but time, my friend. So, again, you want to, if you're concerned about what this is going to look like, as far as how short it's going to be. Go with a bigger guide, go with a bigger guard, and then work your way down. Also, if you're cutting hair that is light in color or hair that is thin and fine, you're going to see more scalp. Versus if you're cutting hair that is dark and thick, you're not going to see as much scalp. So you can go a little bit shorter with hair that's dark and thick and not look like you have been, like your head has been scalped. The other little trick that I have is when you're getting into the side of the head. Now the head starts to change shape here, so you've got to watch the way you're holding the clippers. A lot of times when I'm trying to do a blend on somebody, I will work the clipper in the downward stroke where I'm trying to blend at, and that'll give me a nice little blend in through here, and it won't take off as much hair as when you're going up like this. When you're doing the C motion, when you're doing the C word, you have to pull the hair. You go tight and then you pull it out. So you're not, you see how that made this hair a lot shorter than versus when I was going down with it. So that's another little trick to get a blend and not go too far up with the short cut. Now some people want to have the top of their head clipper cut, but many people don't. Now during these, the COVID times, the other C word, you might just have to be like, all right, dude, you're getting the clipper cut all over. What do you think of them apples? But
No.
you could use scissors on the top if you have scissors and that's what you fancy, or that's what your willing or unwilling victim in this case prefer. So sorry, I'm cutting on it. You can't see me.
Did you have mimosas for breakfast?
No, I haven't had a thing to eat all day. I'm wasting away to a ton. All right, so here we are on the other side. So we're going to work up, C motion, C motion. I always tell people ears bend. So bend the ear so you can see what's going on back there. There's nothing worse. I go crazy when I'm in the drugstore or the grocery store and I see somebody with like all this hair behind their ear. It freaks me out. So now we've got the bottom part done. All right, now we're going to work our way up. So I don't want to go too short. So again, I'm gonna use my clipper in a downward fashion. I can also use my comb to force that hair down into the clipper, and when the hair meets the clipper, you're going to use your C again. You can also go in and pull your comb, use your comb to pull the hair away, and just go in and try to blend hair on the side here like that.
Yay.
If you have little trimmers, that's going to be ideal because these big clippers are a little bit clunky to try to get, this detail work going. But again, that's the time. So you just got to go in with what you got to do what you got to do. So Duck has never been without a sideburn since he was a stupid baby. He was literally born with sideburns. I know, it's weird. What are you going to do? But you want to go and carve the hair around the ear. Remembering the ears bend, so bend the ear. Just stay with the shape of the ear. Do not, if you're the kind of person who likes your sideburns straight across up here, do not go above this little crease at the top of where your ear meets your head, because that's weird, all right? Don't do it. And then you want to just follow, a lot of people like just following the natural hairline. Duck's hair has not been this short since he was born, so who knows what his actual hairline looks like even, but we're going to find out. It was like that time when he shaved his mustache off. No one wanted to see that.
You did it.
Oh, I accidentally did it. Look, I only took the edges off. God, you make one mustache mistake and they never let you live it down. It's ridiculous. All right, so just following the natural hairline, combing this hair around the ear, seeing where that's laying. You can I'm sorry, you probably can't even see. You can direct that hair into the shape of the ear a little bit by combing that forward into the ear and then just taking your clippers around the sides. If you like a little bit of a longer sideburn, so meaning like you want it to be further down on your face, but you want it a little closer, you can take your comb and lift that comb, pull that hair away so you can get a finer little detail in through there. Oh, geez, Margie was throwing up. For God's sakes. Margie, you're ruining the quality of this footage. All right, so now you're to the top of the head. Now, if you're going to go in with clippers for the top and you want the hair to be all along the whole same length, then go for it. If you want the top to be a little bit longer, obviously you're going to use a bigger guard. So say you're going to bump up to your biggest guard. I've got a 10. I've got a 10. That's right, Duck, you're a 10. And this is just for demonstration because seriously, like if I shave his top of his head, he's going to go banana train on me. I can't handle it. This guard is so big you can't even get it on the clipper. I like literally can't even get it on. It's that big. All right, well, I guess we'll just have to pretend that we're doing it because I can't, like I said. All right, so I'm just going to stick with the 7. And we're going to, if you're going to do clippers on the top, I would highly recommend that you work from the back first up into the top, because if you start in the very center and you just like go to town, like boom, it's over, people. Like this part, you can't blend that. I don't care how good you are, you're not gonna be able to blend it unless you make it into some kind of design, which I'm not even sure what that could possibly be. So just trust me on this. Otherwise, you're gonna go in with your scissors and you can go in here into the top. No, please, don't start with that. I told you this is what it was like to actually cut his hair. If you remember when Duck made a guest appearance in the How to Cut Your Stupid Baby's Hair, he was the same way. So look, if you don't want it super short on the top, just go into the front and make a little guide. Ask the person or ask yourself. Although, I mean, if you're cutting your own hair, it's probably really, really hard to do it with scissors on top. So anyway, just go through here, give it a little trim. The most important part is the blend. So once you get the top to the length you want it, then you're going to go back in and you can see this, hopefully, that there's a separation here. You see this? This is long compared to what's above and what's below. So that's what you're doing to blend it. So you're just going to grab that hair and lift it up. And wherever you see hair jutting out that doesn't match up, you're just going to blend it. See that? See this? I dropped my comb. All right. So, and then you would just go around and do that. Now, if you still have issues and you're having trouble and you see lines and stuff, take scissors and your comb and just keep lifting the hair and taking very tiny little bits of it off, or you can even go in on a point and just cut it where you see that it's not laying properly or where it's separate from the rest of the haircut. And that's going to give you a pretty decent blend. I mean, maybe it's not going to be perfect, but that looks pretty darn good. I'd say Papa Duck looks excellent with a short haircut. A man for all seasons. Ladies and gentlemen, Papa Duck!